Hey what's up guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. No, that wasn't me forgetting to cut the first part out. It was just a few seconds to just take it in, because whether you're Team Ronaldo, Team Messi, when a legend of the sport like Ronaldo has played his final game for Portugal, at least in the World Cup, you gotta feel emotional in one way or another, man. Like, it's signaling that the end is near. The R word, not what you're thinking, the retirement word, is very, very near. And I think obviously this was going to be it. The perfect ending, the perfect chapter, the perfect closing. But it wasn't meant to be. And look, Spain deserved to go through. I don't think Portugal can look at that game and go, we were unlucky, we were unfortunate, we didn't deserve this. Like, Portugal had their fair share of chances. Portugal had the opportunity to win that game on multiple occasions, but the truth is, they didn't. They wasted those chances. They thought that it would keep coming back to them, and that extra time would come in, and it might even go to penalties, and you get a bit of luck here and there. But in football, you create your own luck. You make sure that when you're out there on the pitch, you give it everything, and you make sure you maximize and capitalize every opportunity you get. And I think it's fair to say Portugal left a lot out there. They gave a lot, don't get me wrong, but there was still a lot more in the tank that could have been done, could have been achieved. And look, if this wasn't a Ronaldo farewell final World Cup, I don't think we'll be as emotional, and as we wouldn't talk about this as much. If Spain had just won against Portugal and Portugal had no Ronaldo, we'll be thinking, okay, they'll be back in 4 years' time. They'll be back in the Euros in 2 years' time. Like, they will be back. Portugal are a strong team. They've got a great set of players, which is why I thought they were going to win the World Cup to begin with. And that's not delusion. That's not bias. That's not me putting on my Ronaldo tinted glasses and saying Ronaldo's going to win it. There was a part of me that thought that. But when you look at the quality, right? Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, João Neves, the best midfield in the tournament. Nuno Mendes, who unfortunately, when he went off, that was the moment where you just looked at Portugal and go, they are gonna lose. Like, they have got so many good players. But I'm questioning Roberto Martinez in this. Why is Pedro Neto starting over Conceição? Like, yes, Conceição might be a good super sub, but you want to get the game won before you have to think about making super subs. If you can win the game in the first 60, 70, 80 minutes, why bother about super subs? Why is Leao benched? Again, super sub. Leao came on for what, 20 minutes or so? Basically, not enough time to make an impact. I think it might even be less than 20 minutes, but not enough time to make an impact. Renato Vega, right, made a great interception to stop Yamal, but why has he been starting over Inacio or Araujo? These are the little details. By the way, as well, Semedo, why did he come on at left back over Diego Dallo? You could have moved Cancelo to left back, Dallo at right back. Dallo was better than Semedo when he came on. We saw it. So many decisions in that game where Portugal effed up. Ronaldo had two chances. One was a tight angle, and Unai Simon made a good punch, and then the other was just a really smart attempt, which was never going to go in because it didn't generate enough power. But you can see the idea behind it. Apart from that, where was the service? Pedro Neto put a ball in the first half, I believe. Terrible ball. Like, the intent was there, but the weight of the ball, it was hit so heavy, so hard across, it went up for a throw-in on the far side. That was how terrible that was. Nuno Mendes hit the bar. That was like the best chance Portugal had. Apart from that, everyone else just didn't seem to be playing for Ronaldo or as a team. And if you don't play for your best player and your greatest player and the greatest player of your country, then what and who are you playing for? Because if you're telling me they were out there playing for their nation, their country, they weren't. That performance was not good enough. And the reason why I said they could have won is because on the flip side, I don't think Spain were particularly crazily amazing. They had better chances, they had more chances. Oyarzabal should have scored an easy 1v1, which he missed. And they had a couple more opportunities, which was saved by Diego Costa. But I don't think Spain are all that. I don't think Spain will win the World Cup. I've said this since day one. I think Spain are a very good defensive side. I think they will grind out victories, but in an attacking sense, I don't think they score enough goals. They couldn't score against Cape Verde. They scored 4 against Saudi Arabia because it's Saudi Arabia. And they scored 1 goal against Uruguay because Uruguay gave them the goal. They scored 3 against Austria because Austria were just not going to be good enough. And they scored 1 against Portugal in the last minute, which, again, they don't care how and when they score. But it's just telling you that when Spain do play against the likes of Argentina, even England, France, I just don't think they will be able to win this tournament because they're not going to be able to outscore their opponents. And no matter how good your defense is, scoring goals win games. Because if you're good defensively and you don't score, there will be a lot of nil-nils in there. If you can score, but you also concede, you can win 5-4. So would you rather draw 0-0, nil-nil, or win 5-4? And I think that's very, very simple and clear. You'd rather win the 5-4. You'd rather win in a crazy way than draw in a boring way. And I think that is the problem with Spain. I can see France winning 5-4. I can see Argentina winning 5-4. But with Spain, they don't concede that much, but they don't score that much either. And I think that could be the problem. But great goal, great pass through. Marino, I don't understand how and why he was given that much space and time to be in a 1v1 situation against Diego Costa with basically the whole net to aim at. Diego Costa trying to make himself big, but there was that gap at the near post which he couldn't block. And I don't blame him. He was left in a terrible position and situation as a keeper. You try to make yourself big, but I don't think many keepers could have done it. Maybe Courtois, right? You need someone who is like 6'5" or something, who can be able to stretch his long legs out and just block it. But I don't think even Courtois could have saved that. But anyways, look, Portugal are out. It's devastating. We saw Neymar got the night before. All hopes are on Mbappe now, for me at least. But look, I don't think this one hurts as much as the previous World Cup, because I thought Portugal put up a decent fight and they could and probably should have done better than they did. I'm not saying they should have won or could have won, but I'm saying they should have probably brought it to extra time. To be honest, like a 0-0 into extra time or 1-1 into extra time probably should have happened. But yeah, Spain, congrats. I think they will beat Belgium. who we'll get on to in just a second, but I don't think they'll win the World Cup. I've been saying this whole time. I don't think Spain will win the World Cup because they don't score enough goals. Let's see. Now, we have got USA against Belgium. Now, coming to this game when all the controversy, the Balogun red card got suspended for this game, and he will still serve the red card, just not in this game, which I thought was very weird, but that's past now. But Belgium just looked so superior to the USA last night, or earlier this morning actually for me. But De Ketelaere, 2 goals, 2 well taken goals, and I think the USA just didn't look like how they have played in this World Cup. Against Bosnia, against Paraguay, we did see some really strong performances from them, but they haven't delivered when it mattered, and I suppose that's the worst performance from the 3 host nations in this round. Mexico did a very good job against England, who are in fact a tougher team than Belgium, to be fair. Canada did a great job, I would say, against Morocco, who I would also argue is a better team than Belgium. So when you've got your other 2 host nations doing better jobs against better teams, and the USA come into this game, which people would have looked at and think they probably have a slight chance, and they not only did they lose by 3 goals, they concede 4, and they were poor apart from that one magical free kick from Tillman. You look at this game and you think, what is the point of being there? What is the point of getting Balogun's red card suspended? When you're going to play like the way you played, whether Balogun was there, it didn't matter. It did not matter a single bit. And Belgium, fair play to them, because they looked a lot better against Senegal. I did not expect them to win that game. And they looked really good against the USA. And I did a little bit expect it to be a closer game than the 4-1 result. It was one of those games where you probably would have seen a Belgium 2-1 or 1-0 win, but 4-1, I think that is just incredible from Belgium, really. But look, they have got a big game against Spain next, and I think they will lose that game, because I think Spain are just a better team, and I think when Belgium play well and score, they score 3, 4, 5. But when Belgium struggle, they don't score at all. And I think that is also playing into Spain's hands, because Spain don't concede that much. Spain have not conceded this World Cup, have they? Yeah, they haven't. So, look, they're playing against the best defense, arguably, in this World Cup, and I don't think Belgium are going to stop Spain from scoring like Portugal did until 90 minutes, like Cape Verde did. I don't think these teams, I don't think Belgium can follow how these teams have played. So they're going to have to score more than Spain. I think both teams will score, but I think it could be like a 2 or 3-1 Spain win. And by the way, that 3rd goal, what was Matt Freese doing? He came out, he picked up the ball with his chest, good control, got the ball, fair. But he hesitated for like 10 seconds, or okay, a bit exaggerated, 5 seconds, and then was like, oh, I'm gonna kick it now. De Ketelaere comes from behind him, gets a slight touch, it goes to Van Aken, and he shoots as the keeper is in no man's land. Terrible keeping. Not only are you coming out for the ball, don't try to act like prime Neuer, bro. Take the ball and clear it. You've given Belgium a 3rd goal, and you've basically screwed your team up. So yeah, I don't know what he was doing there, but that's that. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, hit the button, subscribe, don't trust on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.